true.
So I'm being cognizant of his psyche right now.
Good. Right.
Like, oh shit, no. Exactly. And then he'll stop. Okay.
Alrighty.
Audio. It was supposed to call.
How are we going to have audio if we don't have?
I know he's going to put Tom on. God knows if he's going to put on Sonny Schroeder and Linda Vaughn and the guy from the town who I have no idea what he's going to do today, by the way. You know, Billy is like, I don't know what his agenda is, and I don't think he knows. I can tell talking to him, he is just so happy when he gets to give these guys
Airtime?
Yeah, credence and
Well, I'm standing in my garage in my Speedo.
I bet Motormouth Radio is on right now.
Are you guys on the air, or did I call too late? Motormouth! How you doing? Great program. I've been listening for about 10 minutes now, and you guys are boring me to tears.
It's real fun listening to you guys on stinky Wi-Fi.
Appreciate y'all letting me on Motormouth Radio.
Oh, I've been listening.
Motormouth!
You're bringing back really bad memories for me.
You guys have your passion and you're making a living at it.
But the way your show's going lately, anything goes. Well, I got a lot of people listening to you guys.
Our trained staff of 2 will help.
The phones are on fire. Hey, Chris. Hey, Ray.
Hello.
You guys sound different on Sunday than you do on Thursday. I'm enjoying the show today.
Quite frankly, there are better things to do with your time.
I like your style. I like that you give each other grief. That's good.
I know there's dozens of people out there who are tuned in today.
Yeah, I want to know what the is wrong with my car.
I don't want to take over the whole radio program because then we'll shoot the ratings down. Vote them out!
Me and Kristen are going to be the future Ray and Chris.
Appreciate all the good advice. You guys do a great job. Love it. You got to make up your mind. Do I follow the manual?
We told you what to do. You still didn't want to do it. And the owner's manual tells you put high test in. You don't want to do it. We say follow the owner's manual, and then you get ticked off at us. What do you want me to do?
I'm not getting ticked off. I did that.
I am!
I have a heart condition. This is not right.
There are answers, sometimes correct ones, and we may have them. Motormouth Radio, 90.3 FM, WHTC.
Vote them out!
This is Motormouth Radio, your 1-hour automotive talk show. And now, here are your Motormouths, Chris Switzer and Ray Guarino.
Alrighty, entertaining and informing the world, 3 listeners at a time. This is Motormouth Radio, your 1-hour automotive talk show, broadcasting live from the entertainment capital of the world, Garden City, Long Island. And here's a man who has to figure out what to do with all those Volkswagen 2.0 turbo diesels he has stashed over in his shed. He'll tell you all about it right from behind the shop bench. It's Ray Guarino. How are you, my brother?
Good, Chris. That was an easy one. I just traded him in for Fiat stock. Because that's worth something now.
Yeah, tell me about it. You think about the Pope being the spokesperson for Fiat. All of a sudden, Fiat's the most popular brand.
What would you expect him to drive? No, come on.
Here's something I was thinking. You know, it's kind of funny. At one time, all dignitaries drove around in Cadillac limousines back in the late 50s, back before, time immemorial. Yeah, time immemorial, there was always a Caddy limousine. And I remember, well, I don't remember it, but I remember reading that the Pope, when he, I guess the Pope back in the 60s, there was, trying to think who it was, Pius,
John.
Paul, John, the 96th or whatever
There's
it was.
not many names you have to go
There
through.
were- I know, but there's a number that befalls me right now. Yeah, decided, or it was given the point that it was going to be a Lincoln limousine. And he was riding around the Lincoln limousine over a caddy limousine. And next thing you know, everybody's got Lincoln limousines driving around in them. And I'm thinking to myself, did he have some sort of
Well, so you're saying the Pope was a trendsetter?
I'm thinking the Pope made a deal.
Oh.
That's the way I'm looking at it. I think the Pope was... Somebody said, let the Pope drive a Fiat. Let's see if it'll boost sales. Like, the Pope is almost like Burt Reynolds is with Trans Ams. How's that?
Okay.
The Pope is with Fiat as Burt Reynolds is with Trans Am. Now, if we can get the Pope to jump over a bridge with the Fiat, I would be very impressed.
Well, he should use that Porsche Pope mobile that has the integral roll cage with the bulletproof Lexan. That would be the one to do that in.
The thing that looks like a mailbox.
Yeah, that'd be the one to do it in.
That's for sure. With him standing there. Well, let's hope that lightning bolts don't hit the show while we're broadcasting. But this is Motormouth Radio, your 1-hour automotive talk show, right here on Long Island. We've got a very big show today, don't we?
We do. We're going to have our good friend Bill Wandolowski from the Eastport Plaza Deli and self-proclaimed Dukes of Hazzard aficionado and collector. He's down at the 5th Annual Car Fest presented by the Ridgely Pharmacy and Ice Cream Parlor. So you know it's rural, and that's down in Ridgely, Maryland. They have a bunch of stuff here. I'm looking at all this cool stuff. They have a sponsor list. We're not on that. Oh, Tony's Parts. They sell all Chrysler stuff. Yeah, Ridgely Wine and Spirits. Yeah, Southern Body Works.
Don't blink, you'll miss it.
Yeah, Lupton Sports Collectibles, all sorts of cool stuff. But he's down there with our friend that we met through Bill, Tom Sarmento, who was the lead mechanic then turned stuntman on the Dukes of Hazzard and other places. And they're down there also with Sonny Schroyer, who played Deputy Enos, Linda Vaughn, who was, of course, Linda Vaughn is Miss Hurst. Yes. And others. And Bill should be calling us today and putting Tom on the phone. We'll talk all about this great. I think they raise money for a cause, which is always a good thing. So that should be today's guest lineup.
Very cool. So we're looking forward to that. And also, I wanted to let you know that on the website, I've posted your interviews. You were Cub reporter Ray Guarino from Motormouth Radio, and you had done some interviews over at the Malva Show back last week.
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago. And, well, the webmaster finally has gotten off the pot and decided to put them up there.
How'd they come out, by the way? Because I didn't hear them.
They're
I just did them.
They're good. They really are. They were a lot of fun. I enjoyed listening to them. And you can check them out on motormouthradio.com. Go right to the index page and you can see them there. It was a good time. It sounded like a good time had by all.
It was. I was up in my papal, my airy nest up in the second floor of a Malba home. So Bill had sequestered me up behind a railing that had a great view of the bay and the bridge and all sorts of stuff. And because I needed someplace that was a little quieter. But once the reason that there's not more interviews than you heard was because once the DJ started up,
that was it.
Everything just kind of echoed, and it didn't.
I figured they would move you back down the block over to the end of the road or something like that.
That would have been an improvement, actually.
Put a lone table there.
I think the interviews that I made sure I got some key ones. I would have gotten some others, but hey, you know what? Maybe next time I'll start even earlier.
Well, they're up there. They're on the site now. So, and speaking of Cub Reporter, just want to let you know, I have been a Cub Reporter of my own.
Have you?
Yes, I have. Traveling and traversing that fine upstanding road known as the Belt Parkway.
Yow.
You get to learn patterns, and you get to learn behaviors that just happen over and over again.
Mostly bad ones, right?
And in this case, construction.
Oh, wow.
So here's the reason why. When the route I take from point A to point B involves going over those puddle jumpers on the Belt Parkway,
What's a puddle jumper?
Basically going from Erskine Street all the way down to Coney Island. There's a couple of these little bridges that go over these bodies of water. And they're small. They're little puddle jumper type of bridges.
I always used to like looking at them when I traversed them to see what shopping carts or car parts or bicycles were sticking.
Yes.
And other body parts besides car.
Or a foot or an arm or so the top of a head.
And going back with that place actually to the 50s. I've driven over that even when I was a kid back in the 50s and later. You saw it has evolved over time.
Oh, yes.
Now I think there's more water in it.
There is. It's definitely environmentally got a lot better looking than it did when we were kids.
Whoa.
That's for sure. Yeah. It didn't look too good then, but it looks a lot better now. Billy's here. Come on. I told you he was here. Billy Wandolowski, Trip Dub Productions, is here with us. Here's Ray telling me, he's saying, no, Billy's in Maryland.
Yeah?
I just look, I see Billy's here.
Billy's here today.
Okay. Well, amend my previous statement.
Yeah, so anyway, just so I interrupted my own show. Hi, Bill.
How are you?
So,
always a pleasure.
Here's what ended up happening. And I'm going to be real brief about this.
Okay.
Every time construction happens, when they're going to update these little puddle jumper bridges, what they do is they clear out all of the trees and the foliage all around it so they can make room for construction. I'm talking about construction on the Bell Parkway, Bill.
Oh, boy.
So every time there's always a pattern. They clear it out, they set up all their shop, they put up fences, they get all the equipment in, then they start the construction. Right. So this has happened for every single one of those puddle jumpers on my route, other than the Mill Basin Drawbridge.
Okay.
That has always been the mainstay. That's always been the lone holdout. Well, guess what? Went there, literally today found the whole place cleared around the Mill Basin Drawbridge, and they're starting to bring in equipment. So you know what that means? That damn bridge's days are numbered. I, for one, am very pleased.
Do you think or you know they're taking the bridge down?
I'm just going by a pattern.
You're hoping?
Yes, I'm going by pattern.
Because they'll have to do what they did with the other ones, build a separate one off to the side so you can get home.
I don't care. Just as long as that damn thing explodes.
No, we care because we don't want you stuck out here on the island of Long with the rest of us suburbanites.
Let's go to Billy Wandolowski. How are you? Trip Dub here with us. What's going on, my brother?
Oh, all kinds of fun stuff as usual. Life is good.
Yes.
No complaints. We're we're doing good. We're rocking and rolling. Had a crazy, crazy summer.
I believe it.
If you say what's new, everything is new. Everything is
all
new.
Right.
Life is good. My son is 6 years old. He
wow.
just joined the Cub Scouts.
Wow. When he was born.
I gotta move the camera over. We have a camera.
Oh, cool.
I gotta move
Cub
the camera
Scouts.
over.
That's cool.
You can watch Billy on VaughnLive.tv/motormouthradio.
I'm glad I'm dressed.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you're wearing pants.
Are you a den father or does he have a den mother now?
Well, it's a den mother. He's a tiger cub now because he's 6. And they're leaning towards, oh, you were a Cub Scout, you were a Boy Scout, oh, you have experience, you could, and I know where this is going. And I told him, I said, listen, I said, I would love to, but you're going to see very little of me because of my work schedule.
Yeah.
I said, weekends, you will not see me. I said, so otherwise I will be, two-fisted,
Oh, sure. Well, you're
right
very active.
When I can, I will be there.
Yeah.
So, and that's great. And, and my son, he's really into it.
Yeah.
I have to tell you, and you guys know that when it comes to kids and stuff, I'm a mush. I try to be as tough as I possibly can with this kid to keep him straight, and
And you do a good job.
You like that with radio hosts too.
Well, yeah, you have to. So, you saw the bullwhip. Okay. Yeah. But anyway, it was good at the first meeting to see if he liked it. We didn't want to pressure him. We said, if this is what you want to do, try it out. Let's check it out. Let's go in there. And, the Scoutmaster, explained that we put our fingers up and, this means quiet. And he put his fingers up and he was actually quiet and I had tears in my eyes.
Wow.
And of course my wife was like, you're such a wuss.
Yeah, that's good though.
But it was good, and here I am. I'm saying to myself, and this is all it took to get this kid to be quiet. After 6 years.
Put fingers up in the air. Who knew?
Who knew?
Right.
But it's good.
That's great.
It's good. He melds with authority, which is nice.
No, he's a good boy. He's just very active. He's very busy. He's like his dad.
He's a young boy. Should be. He's a kid.
And that's what we want. And, and he's the perfect example of when he's quiet. He's up to something. This kid, he'll go through windows. He'll go over fences. There's nothing that
that's the thing in this society. People take their kids into the doctor. He's all bounced off the wall. No, you bring him in if he's sitting there doing nothing because there's something wrong with the kid.
Correct.
Yeah.
So you're right on track. That's good.
He had surgery on his calves last November, and he actually broke.
Oh, really?
He had 2 leg casts. He actually broke his calves, both casts.
Oh,
and I was a little concerned, and I said to the doctor, and the doctor said, "Are you kidding me?" He goes, "This is great." He goes, "That's what I want to see."
Yeah.
So he said, this kid, he goes, your kid is a 1%er.
So you did have him hanging out with Tom, I guess, when you weren't around. Is that what happened?
I tell you, he's, and Tom's like, just kind of leans back and says, makes me proud, because he fears
break
nothing.
a leg.
He's not,
literally.
Well, yeah, we don't want him to do that. But,
no, of course not. No.
So, So speaking of Tom, you got Tom calling in today in a little while.
Excellent.
You know,
Yes.
which we're happy about.
We love talking to Tom.
And he's gonna tell you all about that car show we're doing next week in Ridgely, Maryland.
See, I put you under today because, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, no, I guess you thought we were calling in.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's why it was under today, because that was the date you gave me.
Yeah, no, anyway,
listen,
the magic of live radio.
People wonder how this show gets programmed, and I always say, I don't know. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
On the fly. We move the camera, we got a show.
That's good. That's good. We're talking to Tom today, because next week we do have another guest planned.
Good.
That one kind of fell in from...
Yeah, I'm looking forward to... This weekend is the Cruise to the Show.
Yes.
So I got to drag the General Lee out, and we'll do that. And
you're coming? Okay, because we'll be over there. We're going to be... we've been asked to be the guest trophy presenters at 3:30 in the afternoon, so we will be there.
Very cool.
Otherwise, you'll see us hanging out, sleeping by the Autoseum tent.
Okay. Which we do pretty much every year.
We do.
Good.
Right. Shake hands, kiss babies, that sort of thing.
Yeah, providing nobody locks you up.
Right.
Let's take a quick break. When we come back, hopefully we'll be talking to Tom Sarmento on this production on the fly of Motormouth Radio.
And cameras.
That's right. Trip Dub is here with us. Billy Wandolowski from Eastport Plaza, Deli. Ray Guarino, I'm Chris Switzer. Of course, the Motormouth Radio Honor Group of the Hour. If you lose a shoe on the highway, if you walk into work wearing just one shoe, and you tell your boss you lost it on the highway, well, you're part of the Motormouth Radio Honor Group of the Hour. So keep it where you got it. Got a lot more of this mess coming your way right here, right now on Motormouth Radio. So hold on.
Have a question about your car or someone else's car? Then give the Motormouths a call, 516-572-7440.
WHPC Garden City, New York, the voice of Nassau Community College.
Join WHPC's Daily News Wrap-Up, weekdays at 4:30 p.m., bringing you a complete report of the day's news home and abroad, as well as sports, weather, and many other informative features.
We're Long Island's FM alternative.
WHPC 90.3, the radio voice of Nassau Community College, is looking for individuals, businesses, charities, or organizations in our local global community that would like to donate to support our radio station. Whether you listen locally or online, here's how it works. Go to our webpage at ncc.edu/WHPC and click Donate Now. Or if you prefer, you can send a check to WHPC Radio, 1 Education Drive, Garden City, New York, 11530. Make your check payable to the NCC Foundation. In the memo of your check, write WHPC, Donate Now. Any contribution will help defray our operating costs, and it's tax deductible. This message was brought to you by the radio voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC. Streaming online at ncc.edu/WHPC.
Your car not running right? Let the Motormouths help you out at 516-572-7440.
Alrighty, welcome back to Motormouth Radio. We're gonna have Tom on, or Billy's gonna reach out to Tom
as we speak.
Alrighty, production on the fly right here at Motormouth Radio. So I guess we should answer the phone though.
That's probably Howie of the Bronx.
That's right. Let's go to the phones. Let's go to the phone. Say hi, you're on with the Motormouths.
Hey, what's happening?
Oh, it's Mr.
Hey!
There's the man himself, Tom.
I love when the plan works out. Tom Sarmento, how are you, sir?
How is Chris and Ray?
Oh, we're doing swell, my brother. How are you?
I am doing fine. I'm very, very well, to tell you the truth. And, it's been a while since we talked.
Yes, it has. I think it's been over a year since we've talked.
Yeah, it has. It has. I mean, time, I guess as you get older, time just keeps on flying by.
It does.
That's for sure. Talk about time, Tom, since you are the lead stunt coordinator for a show that has happened a while ago, the Dukes of Hazzard. How has time been kind to the show and to you? How has time been?
It has. It really has. It's been 30 years. I just got done doing a show in London, Ontario, Canada, with Tom and John, and Sonny and Rick. Great time up there, great car show. I mean, just fantastic. Unbelievable. And then I was with Kathy and Sheriff Little and Enos and Cletus in Indiana. And, Kathy's doing well, and, so I've got to see everybody here in the last couple months.
Right. So that's awesome. And you have something planned going on for this weekend, right? Is it coming up?
As a matter of fact, I'm in Presque Isle, Maine. It's about 2.5 hours north of Bangor.
Just go get a few lobsters before the big show, huh?
No, listen, no lobsters in Presque Isle. Let me tell you right now.
No, really? Okay.
Not in Presque Isle.
No.
What's up in Presque Isle?
Moose.
Just
moose. There's
moose
not a whole lot in Presque Isle, but there's a good group of people. We have a fair that we did up here in the end of July, and we come up here to talk about next year's show, and we might even possibly do a sheriff car turnover.
Wow, that's great.
So
yes,
you're not going to be driving that, will you?
Only if it was a really backup. I'm going to get Corey and Russell.
Yeah,
and
the younger
see
guys.
what we can do on them.
Mm-hmm.
And but it's going to be a pretty good deal. We met with the committee, and what we're going to do is they're going to go ahead and put their numbers together and stuff like that. Where I think what we're going to probably do is do the car show first on a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and then the following Friday we would probably go ahead and do a turnover. So that would kind of fill up. They're on there for 10 days. And so we might do that, and just having a great time. And then I'm back to JFK on next Thursday, and Billy's going to pick me up, and then we're headed to Ridgely, Maryland, with a show with Richard Petty, and we've got Sonny Schroeder's going to be there. And Linda Vaughn. And you guys got to remember Linda Vaughn.
Oh, of course.
Of course. Yes. Miss Hurst, definitely.
And that's the show we mentioned that's put on by the Ridgely Pharmacy and Ice Cream Parlor, which I think is fantastic. That's great.
Exactly.
That's my kind of show.
Let me tell you.
Yeah, and they raised $37,000 last year.
Wow.
At that show.
That's no joke.
And this year they're trying to get $40,000 plus, and it's for the Wounded Warriors and the Victory Junction gang.
Nice. Tom, I know that with the turnovers and all, you may need a little bit of bakery providence, and Billy's a deli guy, but how has Billy's car jumping, van rolling, motorcycle on fire through hoops training been going as a stuntman? Because I know that he's in training, and I was just wondering how that's working out.
Yes, do the sandwiches stay intact?
Yes, well, the sandwiches always stay intact. That's Billy's. That's Billy, man. I mean, the sandwiches. You can't beat his deli sandwiches.
You want a stuntman? You got to take my son. He's the maniac of the bunch.
Yeah, your flashlight is on, Bill.
Yeah, I'm sure, but he can get a sandwich to roll, and also put a sandwich on a roll.
Right.
There you go. See, you're giving Billy all these ideas.
Actually, we're trying to give you some ideas.
Have a new sandwich.
We want to get you in the car, and you could do the barrel roll while Billy makes the sandwich on the roll.
Oh, here we go.
And we'll see if the lettuce and tomatoes are in the right place when it's all over with.
Listen.
Right. Maybe we should just put Billy in the car with me.
There you go. Right.
You did say you had dummies on Duke, so I guess,
Oh boy!
But now you were talking about having Corey or Russell do the role. Now those guys, Ray is funny because he says the kids are going to do it. Now those guys are not of kids' age. I'm assuming, right?
Us old guys, they are.
Well, they're kids compared to us. I mean, I think Corey and Russell are about 52.
Okay.
But they're considered still kids.
I'm very glad to hear that.
Because the thing of it is when we met Corey and Russell, Russell was a year or two older, but Corey was just 18 years old.
Wow.
When he started on the set, and he's one of the top stuntmen in in the business.
Now, Tom, correct me if I'm wrong, but Chris told me that Corey couldn't decide if he was going to be a game show host or a stuntman, and you guys kind of corrupted him. Is that correct?
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay.
Well, it was funny because everybody, when Corey was on the set, he was always known as, hey, that's Bob's son. They never introduced him as Corey. Hey, that's Bob's son.
Right, Bob's son was Bob Eubanks, who's famous for the not the dating game, the newlywed game.
The newlywed game, correct.
Yeah. And I always thought he kind of looked a little in certain years like Clint Eastwood with the haircut. I don't know, is that just me thinking?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, kind of had that look about him.
Maybe everybody wanted to be Clint Eastwood.
Well,
True.
Bob is still going strong. I mean, he's a great person. I mean, he's a very interesting person to talk to. I mean, he's done so much stuff. He's the one that brought the Beatles over there to Los Angeles.
Wow. That's amazing. Yeah,
he was a DJ back then, and he did that. Just think back those years.
Sure. Now, Corey Eubanks he's definitely stepped out of his father's shadow, obviously, and made a niche for himself, and a pretty good one. If you ask us,
yes.
I mean, he is a premier stunt driver, a stuntman in his own right, which is it's kind of funny because that's usually not the way it works out normally. Usually, if you're in the show business, you stay in the show business. You don't go behind the scenes rarely, and if you do go behind the scenes, it's always producer director sort of thing. It's never something incredibly physical or demanding as a stunt person. So it's really unique what he has done.
Oh yes, I mean, he's at the top of his game, and he just has so much talent. And from where we started on Dukes, and with the Baxleys, and inventing the pipe ramp and all the rest of this stuff and these different stunts and everything, and then all this, we had the jump vest. We developed that while we were on Dukes, to make it safe for the stunt guys and stuff.
Tom, they used to have those here in New York too. Usually, like up in the Bronx or Harlem, back in the '70s, there were a lot of jump vests that went on, but we've gotten past that, luckily.
but the stuff that they've got is safer, but it's still stunts. It's still a big chance thing. And,
well, that's the beauty
of
what
the best.
The beauty of what you guys do is that safety is always paramount. Like NASCAR and in higher forms of racing, safety comes first.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And we have another guest.
The room is filling up. Mike Manning from the Autoseum just walked in the door.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. Tom, are they still using those ramps to this day? The technology that you guys devised then back on the Dukes of Hazzard?
Yes.
They're still using
matter
that
of
stuff?
fact.
No, sit here.
Well, I do have my own set of ramps, the jump ramps and 2 pipe ramps.
Mm-hmm.
And what we've done is the first one I had was it's a little bit of a shorter ramp. That's what we kind of used on Dukes. We did that one. And then later on, Corey developed another pipe ramp, which I've made a copy of because it works so well.
Right.
And it's just fantastic what you can do with that pipe ramp.
Really?
And then we have a set of the jump ramps, and we actually took a little bit off of the jump ramp. We made it a little bit shorter. And what it was is when we were in Nashville, Corey did a jump there, but the car got up to about 32 feet in the air.
Wow.
And that's like Corey said. He says that's just like taking your reclining chair and dropping it out a 3-story window and landing flat on the ground. Somebody asked him what it felt like, and that's what he came up with.
My wife tried to do that to me once, Tom.
Yeah, once.
Yeah, once. But I jumped off first. I grabbed onto the cast iron radiator and I saved
when
myself.
She says take the garbage out, you better take the garbage out, brother.
But that's always been my curiosity, Tom, is I would love someone to take us through it, like take us through a jump. You're driving along, you see the ramp, you hit the ramp, then what? Like, what is it?
Well,
I got
it. Well,
yeah, I got an idea.
But what it is when you hit the ramp, you feel this jolt, and it's noisy, in there.
I'm sure.
And then the next thing you know, in just a blink of an eye, you're in the air, and everything is very quiet. And then you start looking down, and that's when you start coming down. And then that's when all hell breaks loose, I mean, on a jump, it's, you really just kind of hit, you kind of react. Hopefully you can get to the brakes if you still have that much left on your vehicle and stuff like that and come to a stop.
Tom, what are you doing?
The ones that I think...
No, what are you doing when you're in the air? Are you stiff? You holding on to that wheel with everything you got, or are you kind of like Jello? You're just like, well, it's gonna hit the ground. Wherever I end up, I end up.
Well, you got your hands on that steering wheel. You do not let go of that steering wheel. That steering wheel is your lifeline. I mean, that's what you've got. I mean, you're in the car so very tight. I mean, it's where you can barely breathe, and you just want to get the thing done. Let's go now, And the worst thing the stunt guys could ever hear is, like, when you're on Dukes and everything, you hear, camera 1, camera 2. No, we ain't got nothing on 3. Okay,
Take
that's
2.
it, so reload, and you're sitting in the car and you're waiting,
Right.
I mean, you've got the car in gear. All you're waiting for is come ahead, Corey, come ahead, Russell. Come ahead, Gary. That's what you're waiting to hear. But then you hear, we got a camera problem, we got a jam, Cut.
And then Red Rover,
then you gotta wait,
let
and
Tom
everybody's got to be reloading.
Right, and you. But at that point, you're not going. I mean, you're not in the air by the time they're saying cut.
You don't hear. All you're waiting for is action. Come ahead, Gary. Come ahead, Russell. Come ahead, Corey. That's what you're waiting for.
Wow.
But, we were doing a show with Russell, and he was in this Camaro, No Man's Land, with Charlie Sheen. And we were losing light and everything like that, and we had him in the car. They were going. Everything was ready. Russell was in the car. It was in gear. He's ready to go. And they go, cut. That's a wrap. Be back tomorrow.
No.
I mean, stuff like that happens. But see, when we're doing our stunt shows, we're kind of working off our own cue. And, so you're in the car. You don't worry about anybody taking pictures or anything like that, so that you can actually just, enjoy it. I mean, you're in there, to do a job and go ahead and do the stunt. You're going to be sore. You just don't know how sore.
Right. Yeah.
And,
no, that's...
Or if it'll be a place that wasn't sore before.
It's going to be sore now.
Right. But, what we do is we build these cars as safe as possible.
Sure.
And, when we do these stunt shows, there's a few more bars in there that you wouldn't have maybe possibly, so that you could see that there's a cage in there. We don't really care, because the audience... Hey, they know that there's a cage in it, and they just want to see the stunt.
Sure.
So, we make it so as safe as possible, because we know that who's ever in that car has got to go to work Monday morning, and he's got to be ready to go. So,
right.
It doesn't pay to get hurt, bumps, bruises, cuts. You never want to bleed or anything like that. So, we just do this thing, and it's kind of a pleasure thing. It's kind of, like... Russell, when he did this turnover at the Atlanta Motor Speedway at a NASCAR event just before the race started, I go, Russell, he went so high up in the air, it was just unbelievable. And it's like, Russell, why? He says, you don't have to do stuff like that. I says, you're not getting paid hardly anything. He goes, but Tommy, where can you do something like a stunt in front of 80,000 people?
Yeah, other than an venue like that. Tom, how does the preparation and the safety that you guys employ, which is fantastic, how does that relate to when you first got into the business in comparison?
Nowadays we're going faster, further, and it's a lot safer. I mean, we went on Dukes from having sandbags in the back of the car for weight. We didn't have firewalls in them back then. I mean, Al Wyatt Jr., I mean, he's passed now, but you know, he did the jumps. He had his helmet and he had his 5-point on.
Mm-hmm.
He had shorts on and he had flip flops.
Wow.
He never wore shoes or anything like that when he did stunts. I mean, he was just amazing.
That is.
And you know, but nowadays everybody's got all their safety equipment, and you know, everything is about safety. But you know, you learn. You know, Dukes of Hazzard was a learning experience, and all those other shows, Hunter, A-Team, Knight Rider, everybody experimented with that stuff, and it's down to a science now. I mean, everybody specializes. So, you know, the old days, like when Paul Baxley, Jerry Summers, and Bobby Orson. I mean, you know, I think that's the last time I saw you guys, when we had Bobby Orson.
Yes, yeah, that's right. 2 years ago
that was it. That's right.
Yeah, and then just shortly after that, he was killed. Him and his friend Gary McClarty were killed in an accident. They were making a U-turn and they got hit in the side, T-bone, and it killed both of them instantly. There's 125 years of stunts that was in that pickup truck.
Right out the window, it's for sure. And I was honored I was honored to talk with him that time we were there. We spent about 20
because
minutes.
I've got some pictures of you guys together.
Yeah,
you know,
he was a wonderful man. Mm-hmm.
Yes, and you know, so you really never know, you know, but back in the days like that, you know, those stunt guys, they did everything. They were horse people. They could fight. They could sword fight. They did some car stuff, you know. But nowadays, everybody specializes in something, whether it's cars or fire, high falls, you know, things like that. You have to specialize in it because there's a lot of talent out there.
I think it'd be more fun to be generally talented, you know, and do it all. Because hey, you're doing a sword fight one day on a Zorro theme, then you're doing a car jump or a. Hey, I just Tom, Billy, just let me know early this week that one of the stuntmen that I admired quite a lot, we lost in Paul Knuckles.
Yes.
I'm sorry to hear that. I mean, he was one of my favorites.
Yes. I mean, you know, you look at you know, everybody's age and stuff like that, and they're getting older. I mean, now you got like you know, Gary Baxley's son Dustin, and he's doing stunts. Corey's son, he's doing stunts. And, you know, I've seen some of the videos that Corey's posted, and he's got the same style that his dad did. Well, he was taught by him.
Yeah.
You know, but he's got that style.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, Craig Baxley Jr., he's at the top of his game, and he's just a little youngster. He's about maybe 30 years old, if that. But he's a fantastic stuntman. Henry Kinge's kids. I mean, you see them do in the credits all the time, and see that what it is. It's the kids are, you know, come on up in the stuff. And where else can you get a better teacher than their dads?
Well, I'm glad to see that they're actually doing it instead of more CGI work.
Very true. Tom, can we take a quick break? We're going to take a quick break now, and we'll come back with more stunt talk right here at
You got it.
Hold on 1 second. This won't take long.
You got it.
Thanks. That's Tom Sarmento. He was the lead stunt coordinator for the Dukes of Hazzard, plus many, many others. Billy Wandolowski, the proprietor of Trip Dub Productions, along with Eastport Plaza Deli. Of course, Mike Manning from Celebrity Chase Collision here with us, as well as the Autoseum. Ray Guarino, I'm Chris Switzer, doing this in all one breath. Come on back. We're here.
We'll be back with answers to your car questions. Give us a call at 516-572-7440. Oh, I should have said more than that thing.
You got the touch! Tune in every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. and hear a program unlike any other. Join me, host Justin Greenberg, as I play music that I promise you're not going to hear anywhere else, and some hits that you'll be singing along to with as well. It's Saturday Rock, Saturdays at 9 a.m. on 90.3 FM, WHPC, the radio voice of Nassau Community College in Garden City, New York. Ooh, yeah!
Got a car question? Give the Motormouths a call at 516-572-7440.
All righty, hold up on those phones because we have the lead jumping bean on the phone, Tom Sarmento from the Dukes of Hazzard, the lead stunt coordinator from a fine program, along with many, many others. Also, Billy Wandolowski here in the studio, Mike Manning in the studio. They're all commiserating and talking back and forth. And you know, Tom, you talk about styles. Do stuntmen have their own particular style? Like you can talk about? Like,
yes, they do.
How?
I mean, you know, it's and when we set up the cars, they're set up fairly close where, you know, one could go get it from the other just in case, you know. But everybody has a style, and Henry Kingi, for one, I've never seen anybody be able to come into an intersection, blow into that intersection with the car completely sideways and just square that thing off and take off. Henry has got a style that I can see, if I could tell it's him, you know, in that type of car. Corey Eubanks, the same way. Russell Soberg. Most of the time I can tell, you know, just by watching in the Dukes and stuff, you know, who was driving the car. That's why somebody said, well, who's driving the car? And I go, well, let's go look at the footage, you know, and I can tell you then, you know, pretty, you know, probably 90% of who was driving that car.
Can you
they all have their style.
Can you pick out a style, like something like, what does Corey do that Russell doesn't do? Or like what's a clear,
you know,
clue?
It's just the way that they set up the cars to do their slides and stuff, their reverse 180s. You know, I don't know what it is, but you know, I mean, it's fairly close, but you know, they just have a little bit different style. You know, everybody had different styles in the cars. That's why when we finally got caught up, and I finally figured out how to make those cars work for those guys. It took me, you know, about a season and a half before I really got the braking systems and everything to work, and the suspension, and you know, these carburetors and all the rest of the stuff. You know, it was, you know, where I could actually build them a car that they wanted to drive.
I'm guessing it's kind of like, you know, pitchers all pitch a baseball, bowlers all throw a bowling ball, but the way that they set themselves up, like you said, is a little bit different. So they're all doing the same thing, but they just have their personal little nuances.
Right.
So how,
you know,
now you as a mechanic had to figure out the nuances of how to make the car respond to their style, which is a whole nother conversation.
Go.
Wow. Yeah,
Corey could not drive Al Wyatt's car.
Right. Gotcha.
Guaranteed.
Yeah.
There is no way anybody was going to drive Al Wyatt's car.
Except
he liked the one. The big thing is he liked the 440s. He wanted 14-inch tires and wheels in the front, 15s in the back. His car was set up. It was so loose and sloppy, but he could just make that car do whatever he wanted.
Yep.
And for Corey and Russell, they preferred the 383 engines, and they were a little bit more tighter. You know, it was just set up for their style. So it got to be that they each had their own car to drive, and nobody else used it, because you want to look good. You want to get your job done. And if you got a car that you feel comfortable in, you know, it's like a car that you drive every day. It's in your head. I can do anything that I want. When Paul says, come on up here, and you stop a foot from that tree with the side of the car, you can do it, because you know that car.
So let me ask you this.
When we could do that.
Tom, I know that the car, that's sacrosanct. Those cars now become, that's like you said, that's each guy has their own car. Has anyone, I know you guys are pranksters. Has anybody ever kind of screwed around with the other guy's car a little bit?
Oh, yeah. When we were doing, Russell was directing, second year director and stunt coordinator on Hunter. And, you know, when he had Corey, and he had Al Wyatt, he had me, and, you know, a couple other people. You know, we used to mess with Russell all the time, because he'd be in there and he was doubling, you know, Hunter.
Fred Dreyer.
Fred Dreyer,
I can't think of his name right now.
Ben.
Yeah, Fred Dreyer. And, you know, he'd be going running, and he'd be, you know, hop in the car and supposed to take off. Well, Corey, Alan, they'd push the seat all the way up forward, because Russell's 6'4", and he's squeezing in the thing, you know, and they've got the car in reverse, which looks like it's in park. Then it won't start. So he puts it in park. It starts. Then the wipers are on. There's grease on the steering wheel. I mean, in the sheriff cars that we did, they had those plastic seats, the vinyl seats. They used to silicone those seats so that when you're in there, you're going to slide in.
See, I would think that would be over the edge. I don't know. I would think that would be like a beatable offense.
Yeah, well, the thing of it is, on Dukes, we had a lot of fun, but we got the job done. I mean, that was the name of the thing, but we had a very good time. I mean, there was so much talent there. It's just unbelievable.
Right. I do have a question.
All right.
Chris was asking, take us frame by frame, take us step by step. Do you tighten up? Are you loose like Jello when you hit a pipe ramp? What do you think about if you go back to Presque Isle next year? If they go forward and they say they want to do this stunt show, what do you think about GoPros inside the car? What do you think, Tom?
Well, okay. Here's what happens on a turnover, and that's what we'd be doing, and that's what I've done mostly is turnovers for. I never did any stunts on Dukes. So I was a mechanic. I had my hands full anyway.
Sure.
But when you're out there in there, you're in that car so tight. There is no such thing as Jello. I mean, you're in there so tight that you can barely breathe, and it's like you can barely move. You can move your head just a little bit. Mostly, you're just your eyeballs, and your fingertips are usually on the steering wheel. And with the head restraints and everything like that nowadays, and the rest of the safety equipment and where it's got to be mounted and everything like that, you're in that thing really tight. I mean, I've had Corey standing on my stomach, tightening my lap belts.
Wow,
that tight. I mean, you're in there where you can barely breathe. That's why you hate to see cut. And then you gotta. And you don't want to get loose because you got to sit there and you got to be you're waiting. But you're in there that tight. But when you hit that pipe ramp, and then you're in the air, you can actually feel your belts and stuff have loosened up a little bit because of the car is kind of distorted. And when you hit the first time, you go, "Holy mackerel!" I could have been in there a little bit tighter. But you're in there, but you can barely breathe. You got to be in there that tight, and because you're gonna wreck. I mean, NASCAR people can't be in that car and drive 500 miles. With that kind, but the safety equipment that they've got, they're not supposed to wreck. But we do wreck. Mm-hmm. But, they have to be fairly comfortable, but, they're safe. I mean, look at the stuff that they've got in there. They got the styrofoam in the doors, and they got this, and they got that. The seats in the thing are just, unbelievable. But, when you're paying $7,000, $10,000 for a seat in a race car, you can't put that in a car that gets, wrecked all the time, because then they're junk.
So, Tom, let me ask you, was that a yay or a nay for the GoPro?
It's a yay.
Okay, good.
Let's do it.
Because I'd love to see that. I'd love to see the in-car camera stuff.
Yeah, we'd love to see the cameras from.
Well, we're thinking of doing something like that. And, we're trying to put together something for a jump in Canada, up there in London next year. And Corey said that he would go ahead and do the jump. He would actually do another one in a General Lee, but he wants to go over 200 feet. So. That means that we got to be on our A game to go 200 feet.
That's really flying.
Yeah.
That is, he'd like to go further than that, but we're going to say let's go 200 feet. That's a chore in itself. He went 202 feet in Nashville at that track there, and it was quite a sight to see.
So, Tom, I'm sure when someone proposes that, there's a formula you can use that'll give you ramp angle and speed and account for wind that'll give you that trajectory.
Well, what it is we know, there's no set formula. And, on this. It's mostly experience. And
that's how Evil Knievel
the other
did
thing,
it.
too.
Ah! He just floored it. That's how Evil Knievel did it. He just floored it and just headed for the
ramp.
That's
it.
Yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm. And see, we're going to answer a lot of these questions and stuff. I am writing a book, and hopefully it'll be done by Christmas. Yeah. And I've got Tom O'Dear. He's in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Mm-hmm. I did an article for him in his newspaper down there, the Myrtle Beach. It's the Herald. And he did. We were talking there after the thing. He says, you need to write a book about this stuff. And I says, I've been thinking about that for 10 years, and I never found anybody that I really want to tell stories and stuff to. And he says, I would like to do that. So this is what we've been doing for the last month and a half, is getting together some of my stories. We're going to use one of Corey's stories when he stole one of my cars. I have my point of view of it, and Corey's got his.
I'm sure you both.
What we're going to do is Corey's going to talk to Tom O'Dear and tell him his side of the story. Because if I'd have known that was Corey that did that way back then, he didn't tell me till 2 years later after working on Dukes, where we were better friends. Right. What would possibly be the consequences on some of that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
But what we're going to do is it's nothing about the actors. It's nobody's personal lives. It's just the stuff that was on the set, the fun stuff, the dangerous stuff, the hard work, what Paul Baxley demanded, and then, when Paul left the show, his nephew, Gary Baxley, took over because, Craig left the Dukes after the first year, and Craig went on to do A-Team. And he took Henry Kingi, and he took Bobby Orson with him. And, so we filled in with some other people. Mm-hmm. But all this stuff in there, and some of the myths about the General Lee, the doors being welded up, the horn on all the cars, the correct color of the car, all this other stuff. We dedicated a part like that. And then we go back and we start off with how I got into the business and whatever. So it ought to be pretty interesting. But
Tom,
we're looking to have it out in sometime before Christmas.
We definitely want to have you back on when that book comes out, and we'll push it and advertise it to the masses, because I know I'm dying to read it. Billy sent me a cover of the copy.
We're trying to make it a fun read. We're going to make it affordable. It's going to only be like $9.99.
Oh wow!
It's going to be distributed through Amazon. And
I heard the Eastport Plaza Deli is going to have a special book rack when you come in the front door, right next to the ATM.
That's what I mean. We have to sit down maybe and have a little table outside. A little signing out there. We can have a signing out there. He could have his little sandwiches out there for treats and everything, and we could sign books. We could have his car parked up there on the sidewalk and in front of his place and everything, and get the police car out there. Billy's got it all. When I come in there to see him in Long Island, everything is there.
Yeah,
I praise.
That's for sure.
That is for sure. I praise indeed.
We even took a picture of me signing his light bar, but in the pool. I wasn't going to get out of the pool. He's got the light bar in the kitchen on his wife's island in there. And she's having a fit. The filthy old light bar that's been sitting around for 30 years in her kitchen. So it's out of the house.
I was loving life. She was not.
Kind of like going out of the third floor window in a recliner.
You got it. You got it. If I had 3 floors, she'd have pushed me out.
That's it. Without a couch.
That's right.
So Tom, you're going to be next week. It's gonna. I'm spun around in a whole bunch of different directions here. Next week you're going to be in Maryland, correct?
We're going to be in Maryland. We're going to be in Ridgely, Maryland, with Petty and Linda Vaughn and Enos. And, it's all for charity and stuff like that. We're going to have an original General Lee there, my ski car, General Lee 35. John Stanton from Massachusetts is bringing his beautiful Daisy Jeep. Mm-hmm. And Billy is bringing his Enos' car because Enos is going to be there. So, you do this, and we're going to have a few other General Lees there. We're going to have a auction on some. I've got one of my stunt team jackets. It's signed by Tom, John, and Kathy, and all three of the sheriffs, and Corey and myself. That's going up for auction. We've got two or three hats that is signed by John Schneider and Kathy Bach and the two sheriffs. If we could get to Tom, we'd get him to sign it too, because see, they all wore that type of hat when they were sheriffs in an episode or two. Oh, wow. But there's going to be a lot of stuff that we've got there. There's a bunch of petty stuff to be autographed and things like that. I mean, he's going to be signing autographs from noon to 2, and it's going to be a great time. And it's on a Saturday this year, and so there's really no excuse. They pulled in almost 600 cars. The town is 900 people.
let me tell you,
we had 600
nice car
hot
show.
rods.
Yeah, great.
Nice car show, nice people, very, very well received. We had a great time. I'm looking forward to this. So Brenda Walls went out. She really went out of her way this year. She didn't know if she was going to do it, but she got the okay to go ahead and do it, and she's made it really big. I talked to her this morning. She's running around like crazy, and I got all your room confirmations. Don't worry about the Dukes of Hazzard section. We've got that all covered. We got Sonny's air tickets and his wife and everything like that. We're all set. So all we need is some fans to come on out there and see us and just have a great time.
Tom, if I could put it out, the website is Ridgely Car Show, RIDGELY, carshow.com, and they can email info@ridgelycarshow.com to find out how to get in on the fun.
Tom, thank you so much for calling us and being part of this program.
Hey, guys, we got to get together. I don't come up to Billy's very often, but it's just a short plane ride. But if I can catch you guys sometime on the weekend or something, like we can get together, go out. I would love that. I would love it.
Sounds good.
We got to make a plan, but we will do it.
I'm gonna try to formulate a plan because we're coming back from Ridgely on Sunday, correct?
Right.
Okay, so maybe we'll be passing by. Maybe we can make this work.
That would be
okay.
Fantastic.
Not only Triple Dub Productions and sandwich coordinator for Eastport Plaza Deli, but I may be able to put something together here. So.
Well, we'll be looking forward to it. Tom Sarmento, thank you so much for being here with us on Motormouth Radio. We totally appreciate
Kristen,
it.
Ray, Billy, Mike, and everybody, have a great weekend.
Thanks
Tom.
You too, and enjoy the show. We'll talk soon. Take care.
Okay. All right. Bye-bye now.
That was Tom Sarmento, the stunt coordinator for the Dukes of Hazzard. Is going to be in Maryland at a fine show that has 900 people in a town, which has got to be everybody involved.
Let me tell you, it was really it was humbling. I was telling Mike I'm trying to get Mike to come down. Mm-hmm. When you drive to this town, I said to Tom, where the blankety blank are you taking me? I mean, it's like farm field, cornfield, farm field, cornfield, cornfield, farm field, cornfield, stop sign, cornfield, farm field. Then all of a sudden, boom, there's this town, and you could see that's an older town, very, very nice, nice homes, and little mom and pop type shops, and you'll see a sign that says "Gone fishing," and that's because they went fishing.
They went fishing.
I want to retire there already. I want to live there.
And that's. But I mean, this nice little quaint little one-horse town, and it was great. And they said, you have to be here at 5:00 in the morning. And I'm like, okay, I'm up early. You had to see the mayhem of these guys bringing these cars and a lot of nice stuff. And I'm not a Chrysler guy. I'm not a Ford guy. I'm a Chevy guy. If I see a car and I like it, I like it. That's all there is to it. But a lot of nice cars. And if some guy pulls in driving a boat, it was an actual boat that he put on a car chassis, and he's dressed up like the captain from Captain and Familia, and he drives by, and I'm trying to keep. I'm like, you got to be kidding me, So he drives by, and he comes over with his lady, and he goes, onward, seaman, I'm your captain. I'm like, this is the captain from the boat, So this guy's nuts. But it was good because he was so into it. We had a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it.
Let's take a quick break so we can talk to Mike about cruise to the show.
You betcha. In the Motormouth Radio Honor Group of the Hour, if you lost a shoe on the highway, you got bigger problems, but you're also part of the Motormouth Radio Honor Group of the Hour. Keep it where you got it.
The Motormouths will be right back with your car questions. Give us a call at 516-572-7440.
This is Glenn DeMilt. Join me every Tuesday and Saturday afternoon at 5 for 2 big hours of music and memories with the chairman of the board. It's Frank Sinatra on Sinatra's Serenade. Each week we'll take you on a musical journey through the career of this entertainment icon. It's all about old Blue Eyes. So listen to Sinatra's Serenade on WHPC 90.3, the radio voice of Nassau Community College.
Streaming online at ncc.edu/WHPC.
Got a car question? Give the Motor Mouths a call at 516-572-7440.
All right, if you just missed it, we had a great interview with Tom Sarmento. You'll be able to check it out on motormouthradio.com. Right here, right now, Mike Manning is with us from Celebrity Chase Collision and the Autoseum. Mike, grab a microphone. You got about a minute.
Hello, guys. How are you?
Doing well.
Excellent.
How are you?
Doing okay. I'm here for the free food.
So you're involved again in...
I didn't want to mention.
You're involved again in the Cruise to the Show like you have been for the last number of years.
6 years doing it now.
Wow.
Nice.
Yeah. Tell us what's going to be over at the show this year, where you're concerned.
Well, we're invited by the county. The county executive invited us to come over there and bring some of our cars, and we have a couple of stars coming in. Pat Priest, who was Marilyn from the Munsters. Mm-hmm. Butch Patrick, who was Little Eddie. He's been there before. He'll be there. And Claudia Wells. She was Marty McFly's girlfriend in Back to the Future, and she was also in Herbie the Love Bug.
Ah. Oh, wow.
So we'll have all the cars that are connected with the TV show or the movies.
Mm-hmm.
With the stars next to them. We're going to set up about 10 o'clock. We'll be there at 4. So everybody come down and see us and say hello and give us some support for the Autoseum.
And the Autoseum tent always gathers a fairly large crowd. There's always a lot of people milling around.
Yes.
Which is good because, it's a teaching museum. That's something that a lot of places don't have. We didn't have, and I'm glad that we do have it. It was a BOCES reference, but it's for something else, so I won't bring it up.
If anybody wants to get any more information, Mike, on the Autoseum, how would they be able to do so?
It's autoseum.org. It's AUTOSEUM.org.
Okay.
All the information's there about the school and what goes on there.
And they can probably reach out from there to find out any information on the Cruise to the Show from the Autoseum.
Sure, definitely. Sure. Or they can call you, call Chris or Ray.
Sure, why
or
not?
Billy. Billy knows all about it.
Sure. Call me up. Come on out to Eastport. Have
Just
a
call
sandwich.
up Eastport Deli, yes.
Yeah.
Order your sandwich and ask about the Autoseum.
You could go to cruisetotheshow.com for the information about
Right.
the show as well.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
And we'll be presenting trophies.
That's right. We're going to be there up on stage. So keep the cauliflower and the tomatoes to a minimum, will you?
Unless you're making a veggie wrap. Because I like veggie wraps.
Mike Manning from Celebrity Chase Collision and, of course, the Autoseum. And Billy Wandolowski, Tripped Up Productions, Eastport Plaza Deli. Production on the fly here. We're going over. I don't care. It's Ray Guarino. Boss isn't here. We're talking. That's Ray Guarino. I'm Chris Switzer. We'll talk on Sunday, and we'll always give you the best advice. Don't follow us home. See ya.
Bye.
From a town near Oyster Bay, Long Island, comes the show devoted to the music of Long Island's own Billy Joel. This is Piano Man on 90.3 FM, WHPC, Garden City, New York.